What's up, guys, and welcome back to the infamous project. So today you can see that I am clean and I am in street clothes, and that is because it is the weekend. It's a beautiful Sunday, spring day. Couldn't ask for any better weather, especially still being in March. The snow is practically gone, the sun is shining, the door to the shop is open, and you can hear the birds chirping, so it's great. And I hope that anybody else who is in the north that has suffered a long winter is experiencing the same weather. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be, again, more opinions, more information on what I have here behind me, which I like to call the wall of wheels. This actually took quite some time to set up. It was a little strategic, trying to get things in the right places, most importantly, so that none of the wheels fall down. And I want to go over some OG Mustang Foxbody wheels. It's kind of the perfect opportunity because it is a special day in the sense that I also purchased back one of my infamously known cars, the white Dutch coupe that I had 15 years ago. So I did a video last year. Me and a good friend of mine went and saw the car. So it was my first time seeing it since I had sold it. And been going back and forth with the owner, well, the former owner now, for quite some time. We made a deal. I said, you know what, screw it, you only live once. I bought the car back. So that's going to be another video that I look forward to sharing with you guys. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And well, let's get started into this video about OG Foxbody wheels. I need to re-edit the video. I need to put this at the start of it. So if you guys aren't following me already, it's important for you guys to know I am a looks guy. Call me shallow. I am about appearance of your Fox body, and that's where I'm going with this video. So I'm not covering race wheels or stance wheels because I'm not really like the stance camber gang. I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm just talking about fitment, OG classic wheels on your Fox body. So that's where this video is going. You know, if you are a race car guy and you got a wicked set of drag stars, you're on whatever your drag wheel setup is and they're super light, they fit the car, you have the tire size that you want to run, those are all important things. And that same thing reflects into my video today, is that it's all about a theme of your car. And this isn't for stock and original either. You know, you can go with a 16-inch pony, or you can leave your 15-inch 10 holes or turbines or TRX wheels, whatever it is. This isn't about that. This video is strictly about OG classic aftermarket wheels. Oh, here we have a replica wheel rolling in right here. So the wheel looks good and I can't knock it. It's a nice looking wheel. The main question that I would ask you guys is that back in the day, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're an enthusiast that had a Mustang and the cars were cheap. So you're talking, you're in your Fox body for, you know, 5-6 grand, maybe less, maybe a little bit more, but you had no problem forking over $3,000 to $4,000 on a set of aftermarket wheels, whether it was BBS, or Stearns, or ROHs, or forged, or drag lights, any of those things, you would spend the money on the wheels. Now the same people with money are spending 4 times the amount on a Fox body. So now people are spending $15,000 to $25,000, maybe less, maybe more, but they're putting $1,000 wheels and tires on their cars. So it baffles me and I don't understand it. All right, so you can see behind me, I have quite a few different wheels sitting on the wall. These are my sets with the exception of one, and those are the Roh Drift Rs with the gunmetal centers here. These actually belong to a very close friend of mine. He just got the tires put on. He's owned the wheels for 12 years. Finally has a car to put the wheels on, so you need to buy tires. And so they were here. So I was like, man, I'm gonna throw these up on the wheel wall because, well, they represent a wheel that I like and a wheel that I want to talk about and share with you guys today. But every other wheel on here is one of mine, wheels that I'm hoarding, wheels that I'm saving for special builds. And the worst part is, it doesn't even represent all of the sets of wheels that I have. It's just sort of like giving you guys a taster. So the one important thing to note about all of these wheels, none of these are reproduction or replica wheels. And that is one of the topics that I want to touch on today. The other topic is I just want to give some information to you guys about all these wheels, because a lot of people that are following my channel probably share the same passion in terms of wheel style, timeless look, so on and so forth. So we're going to go over an overview of the different wheels here and talk about them a little bit, and then we'll talk about what you guys think and going forward. What is the future of aftermarket Foxbody wheel options? Because there are plenty out there, whether they're replica or reproduction or enhanced variants of other OE and aftermarket wheel options. There's quite a few, and I'm heavily opinionated when it comes to my wheel game, and we'll get to that in a minute. But let's go over these different wheels and kick things off that way. So starting off over here, we have a Simmons, I believe, V4 wheel, and this guy was used on Dutch Motorsport cars. So it was a wheel option when you bought a Dutch to potentially use these guys. And the reason why Dutch used them is because they were lightweight, they were modular, and we'll talk about the differences there in a minute, which means it is a three-piece wheel, which allows you to create a staggered look, meaning maybe 8s in the fronts, 9s in the rears. You can play with your offsets, so on and so forth. So again, these guys, Dutch cars, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, they were using these wheels, and pretty timeless old school look, because they actually share a lot of similarities with these BBS RS wheels that are sitting here next to them. So BBS RS wheel was never a factory option or never came on a specialty Mustang like a Saleen or a Dutch or any of those guys. They're just a straight up timeless OG look. And these guys are 4-bolt as well. The 4 holes are hiding behind the center cap. And that's another key point about some of these wheels. Because if you look down here to these ROHs, you can't see how many lug holes are hiding behind that center cap. So these are actually 4-bolt as well. So BBS, great wheel, never went out of style. You know, it's really a heavily Euro-influenced wheel, VW guys, BMW guys, lots of other, whether you're Peugeot, any of those. And that's where some of these wheels came into the Foxbody game to start with, because Volkswagens also shared a 4x108 bolt pattern, which meant some of the guys that were running those wheels in their VWs, well, guess what? You could get them onto your Foxbody too if you wanted. Or if you had the centers hidden by the center cap like this, some people would fill and drill. That means they would literally weld in the lug holes and then have a machine shop re-drill the bolt pattern out that was required to get the wheels to fit. And I find this happened a lot with the Borbet wheels, which are sitting down there and right over here. So we'll talk about the Borbets in a minute. But going back to kind of areas of where the wheels came from, you know, Euro look, ROH is an Australian wheel. So they were built and made in Australia, which makes them pretty unique in that sense as well. So that is those guys. These ones here are the ROH ZR6. A lot of people think that, oh, those wheels come on Monte Carlo SS's. No, they're very similar, but that is a ZR6, and that is a 4-bolt wheel, which you can also get in a 5-bolt, the 5x114.3, and this one is an 8.5. Actually, this whole set is an 8.5, and if you were very lucky, you could find them staggered 8.5 and 9.5 rears. So moving to the underside here, Roh Drift R. This guy came out in the early to mid 2000s. You saw this again, a lot of Euro influence with the Australian made wheels. They catered to the Porsche guys quite a bit, and these guys, there's a lot of options. You can go 17, 18, 19, you can go by 8s, by 9s, by 10s. So you got a lot of options with these guys. I had these on my white coupe, the one that I just bought back, in a 4-bolt. When they first came out, they only made a limited number of runs in 4-bolt, and then now you can only get them in 5. But these guys are an extremely affordable wheel. You can get them for a good price. They're still available. These guys, needle in a haystack. Good luck trying to find them. Very difficult, but they are out there. I got these ones, sent them out, got them refinished, and they look like new. Moving down one more below, we got the sterns. So our sailing cars, sailing owners, you guys know what those are. That is a stern phase 2 and a 17-inch. And you might see, and what I want to do as well, that is a modular wheel, which gives you some options. That you can actually potentially step up to an 18-inch wheel if you wanted to get it bigger, and you would notice the stepped look is here on this BBS and also on this Simmons. So what allows you to be able to do when you have a modular wheel, it allows you to have a center section, and then you can get creative with the lips. Because this guy is a 16-inch, the reality is this same center would be used in a 15-inch wheel. What they did is they stepped up the lip to make it bigger and turn it into a 16. Same thing with the Simmons wheel. You get that in a 15-inch if you wanted. That's been stepped up to a 16. So the monoblock wheels versus the modular wheels is essentially a one-piece wheel versus something that's 2 or more pieces. So for instance, the Borbets, the Rohcs, these are one big piece of aluminum block when they start, and then they get machined out to be able to look the way that they do. And some people like a monoblock just because it's simple. You don't have all of the bolts going around the outside of the wheel. And I have to say, going into the concept of reproduction or aftermarket wheels, there's nothing that kind of pisses me off more than the fact of having fake bolts around your wheel and it being just fake. If you are going to have that, please have a true modular wheel that the center section is bolted in to the barrel of the wheel and not just for the look and feel. So you need to stay true to what the wheel actually is. And we're going to dig into that topic here in a second. Going down here on the far bottom right is an Oz Vela wheel. This guy, I don't even know if I've ever seen on a Foxbody. Again, Oz, Euro flavor. I have these same wheels in 23-inch on my SVT Lightning. I'm sure many of you guys know the truck. And I got these wheels in 18, which are also sitting on a step lip. So that's the same center section that you would have found on a 17. It's been stepped up to an 18. And I have the full staggered set, so it's 8.5 in the front, 10 inches wide in the rear. And I got these because I wanted to match the Lightning. So I was actually hoping to bolt those onto the silver Dutch coupe and park it next to the Lightning. But the wheels in the car have never really been in the same place at the same time to allow me to do it. Again, I've never seen one of those on a Foxbody. If you guys have, please send me a picture because I'd kind of love to get an idea of what it looks like. I don't know if the silver center is going to be too much on the silver coupe. It looks great on the Lightning. I don't know how it's going to look on the Fox. So sometimes what you visualize for your wheels to look like and then the actual outcome are two different things. So what do we got left here? Rohcs. These have got to be one of my favorite Foxbody wheels. These came in 16-inch as well as 17. They didn't go any bigger than that. Kind of similar to the ZR6s, 16, 17 only. And these guys, I just love the way they look on a Dutch car. And I'll get into the styling thing here in a minute. I've bought numerous sets of these. I actually have 2 more sets sitting down south. And I managed to find a staggered set. So 17 by 8.5 in the front, 17 by 9.5 in the rear. Means I got more lip and more dish to play with. So I'm super excited about that. And those are going to be going on my old white Dutch coupe that I just bought back, because that was actually one of the wheel setups that I had on that car before I had switched over to the Drift R wheels. And then finally, which everybody always asks me questions about, the Borbets. So ultra rare 18-inch Borbet sitting here in the bottom corners, and these guys are a 5x115, and I have two other sets that are 5x112. I forget what the 5x115 fits. It might be an Audi fitment. 5x112 is Mercedes, and I've never seen, and I've argued with people about this, and if somebody can correct me and prove me wrong, I have never seen a Borbet in 5x114.3. I've only seen them in by 112 and by 115. Now the thing is, these 115s, that's 0.7 millimeters different than a 114.3. So you're going to be able to get it onto your hub. Doesn't mean that it's the right wheel size, and you can actually see on these wheels where the threads of the studs have actually pushed against the lug holes. So interesting fact there. In the 4-bolt 17-inch versions, which were available, you can find them. Those came in a 4x108, mostly because of the VW guys that I was talking about earlier. So that covers off the Borbets. No, none of these wheels are for sale. I'm putting that out there now. Should have probably put that disclaimer at the start of the video. If you guys are looking for some, or if you're looking for any of these wheels, the key here is look on Euro websites. Look for VW guys. Look for people out in Europe, because some of these sets I've actually had to bring in from overseas. So that kind of gives you guys an overview of this wheel wall and the wheel setup. So now we'll get into a couple other topics of discussion. Reproduction wheels. And I'm going to choose my words carefully because I'm not trying to knock vendors or distributors that are trying to make money and cater to people. I bought my first set of replica reproduction wheels back in 2000. It was a set of 17-inch chrome Cobra R wheels, put them on my convertible, and you know, I thought it was the greatest thing at the time. Of course, I was 20 years old. It's a question for you guys. Is it because of availability? People are scared to get something that's old. They don't want to refinish it. Are people cheaper? And I'm generalizing, because some guys, I've seen the true forged wheels, and there's some really nice stuff that's out there. But generally speaking, we're seeing an influx of replica and reproduction wheels going on cars. So 17-inch ponies is another one. Everybody's doing it. They're affordable. The SV saline wheels, or SC, saline SC wheels. That's the question. Are you guys okay with the saline wheel? So call it, let's say it was a stern. So there's a replica stern. Is it okay to put that car on your, or sorry, is it okay to put that wheel on your non-saline car? Yes or no? So if you say yes, is it okay to put saline stripes on a non-saline car? Because it's sort of what you're doing, right? I'm not saying that you can't do it or you shouldn't do it. To me, it's just things should flow and things should go with the theme. So I bought replica saline, 18-inch saline replica wheels, the newer style saline wheels that came on the new edges in 18, and I put them on the 89 Sonic Blue saline clone. But everything was a clone about that. The kit was, you know, a replica kit. The wheels were replica, and the stickers and everything else that the new owner put on, he was trying to build a clone. So I can understand you need clone replica parts to be able to create a theme or bring back originality that you just can't find. Now, he put the saline SC wheels on the car as well. He got rid of the new edge style wheels, and he's looking for a set of sterns because he's trying to go as original as he can. So that's my question to you guys is, why is it now all of a sudden okay that we're putting all of these replica wheels on our cars, where back in the day, if you got a set of fake BBS, nicknamed BB5, because that's what the caps look like. Like, I remember the BMW guys, you would get crucified if you put a replica wheel on. The BBS LMs were horrible for it. The RS wheels were horrible for it. But you know what? It was an affordability thing for most guys in those cases back in the day. So this isn't going into enhanced wheels, because if you look at what Mavremont did with the 17-inch pony, they took the 16, they made it 17. They made it staggered so you had more tire sizes, more options. It was a quality wheel that was made in the USA, and you really can't knock that. Similarly, we have Maker's Garage. He is enhancing the 18-inch Cobra fan wheel. And again, concave, staggered, more options, making something that was original, taking something that was original and making it even better than it was to start with. And that I have no problem with. That's like us taking our cars, building the motors, making them better, making the suspension better, all of these things. But these wheels that are being bought these days are not better. And whether you have forged wheels or you have flow form wheels or you have cast. So as this guy rolls back into the picture, you have to ask yourself the questions. And this guy is an American muscle wheel. You know, is it cast? What's it made out of? What's the quality of the chrome? We all know that chrome products these days, processes have changed, and with everything with the environment, how long is it going to last? What's the durability like when you get the brake dust and elements and everything else on there and your chrome starts pitting and all those things? Those are all things that you have to ask yourself before you're going to buy your wheel and tire setup. So that kind of covers, you know, what kind of wheels are you buying? Where are they made? What's the quality of them? And, you know, what look and feel do you want? So going into look and feel, there's many different styles and flavors out there. And I feel like a lot of people out there, they need help with their wheel and tire game. And I spoke about this a little bit in the top 10 hated things about Fox bodies. I talked about profile of tires, and that went along with the wheel and tire fitment overall on your Fox, depending on how high your Fox is sitting versus how slammed it is. It's really important that you capture the look. If you are building a drag car, absolutely. Mickey Thompson drag radials in the back, maybe some skinnier tires up front. Why do I love the Rohcs so much? The curves. If you look, you can see there's all types of curves in the spokes of these wheels, very similar with the Drift R sitting over there. These two wheels look phenomenal on a Fox body with a Detch kit on it. And that is probably the most important thing that you guys need to consider when you're buying your wheels. Your wheels are going to transform the look of your car, hands down. After the wheels and tires, it's going to be the ride height and the stance of your car. So that's the first thing that people see. So you want to make sure that it looks good. And that's the difference between a Fox body with a Detch kit that has maybe one of these wheels on it versus a set of original turbines or ponies, or maybe a mesh wheel or a stern wheel. And I don't think a stern wheel would look very good with a Detch kit. I wanted to use these on Lemon Dropped, and I started looking at the design and the curves and everything else. I don't think these are going to look good on it. And that's because the Detch kit has a lot of curves. It takes the natural contours of the fender flares, both in the front or the fender lips and the rear quarters, and it accentuates them as it comes down into the kit and just makes everything flow. And those curves are so similar to what these designs have that that's what makes a Detch car look phenomenal. Now, if you look at the Roh ZR6 over there, flat spokes, same thing with the sterns. These guys, if you took them and you put them on a Detch car, again, I haven't seen these on there, so I don't think they're going to look good. ZR6s, I've seen them on Detch cars. They look okay, but they don't look as good as one of these two guys. So my main point with the ZR6s, stick them on a GT. Sharp corners, that body kit comes down, it's straight cut, it's got, you know, the scoops. The lines are way more square on a GT than an LX. Or LX without a body kit or with a body kit. That's what makes those wheels look so good on a GT. And you'd see it on my 90 GT, the black one. They just look killer. And they really look killer on two-tone GTs. you know, silver bottom, and whether it's, you know, red, blue, green, black up top. That's what the ZR6s look best on. Why do these guys look so good on Salines? Same thing, the Saline kit it's way more boxy than a Detch kit, but it has a little bit of roundness to it, but not too much. It's not as straight cut as that ZR6, but it is still a much more straight surface, just with a little bit of rounded edges. And if you really start looking at the way that the edges of the side skirts and the front and the rear parts go, and just kind of the front bumper, the front valance, that's why these look so good on Saline cars. Now, the mesh wheels, these guys are sort of like the in-between, like doesn't matter which way you go. They kind of look good on anything. So that's sort of where, in my opinion, the mesh wheels live. So you can put those on a GT, you can put them on an LX. They look really good on LXs, on LX hatches, I find, maybe with a Saline wing or something, just to kind of change the flavor up a bit. But that's where the Saline wing, that's where the mesh wheels really shine. But at the same time, they look really good on a Detch car. The Simmons wheels were part of that package. The Rikens, which I don't have, are very similar in look. Saline used Rikens as well. So there you have it, guys. The wheel wall, some of the different wheel styles and models explained. You know, we've talked about sizes, we've talked about fitment, we've talked about fabrication and the different materials used in them. OG versus replica. I'm not saying you got to go OG. You don't have to try and hunt these down, these needles and haystacks, but you can find them. Like, you can find the ZS wheels for $800 to $1,500. And even if you have to refinish them, it's only $500. Me personally, I feel like if you put in that little bit of extra effort into your wheels and tires to get them to fit and look 100% with the theme of your car and the style of your car, it will set your car off in a different way than the Fox parked next to you. I am certain about it. So thanks for listening to this. I know it's kind of like a long-winded video. It was very hard to kind of structure it in a way that I wasn't just kind of ranting of why doesn't everyone just have a nice OG wheel on their car. That's the other thing about these guys. These are all timeless wheels. Like, you could bolt these on in 10 more years, 20 more years. They're getting harder to find. People appreciate them when they see them. So there you have it, guys. The wheel wall. I'm super excited to set this thing up. Now I got to tear this thing down. I actually got to send those guys away. The ZS wheels are going to go get refinished, and they're going to be going on my white coupe for now until I can get my staggered set that are sitting down in Texas, because I actually found them. They were in Hawaii, of all places. But like I said, I can't wait to get that staggered set of 8.5s, 9.5s. Super rare. But there you have it. Thanks for following along. I hope that you guys appreciated this video. A lot of you guys always ask me about what wheels, where do I find them, where do I get them? So I hope I covered and answered your questions on everything related to the wheels that I choose to put on my Foxes. So I hope you guys are enjoying the spring weather. We'll see you guys next time.